This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, it's very simple, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And to find out all the great programming we have available for you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. And we're also heard around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network across Europe on Euro Radio TV, and of course on iHeartRadio. My guest this hour is MORRIGHAN LYNNE. She has been a professional psychic medium, intuitive coach, and paranormal investigator for 11 years. Having a knack for demystifying spiritual lingo, she has assisted thousands with better understandings of the practical application of these esoteric practices and supports people in finding what works for them. She is an empath, clairvoyant, and clairaudient practitioner that specializes in shadow work and walking people through their own fires of transformation. Her website, www.embracewithin.com. And Morrigan, what was it that led you to the work that you're doing these days?
Well, it's very interesting. I think everybody's journey is unique and special unto themselves, but I feel like I got a little bit thrusted into it against my own will, because I really didn't want to do this work. I was rejecting it and resisting it as much as I could. And it really, at some point, you just kind of get to this place where you know it's real, you can't ignore it, you can't make up the excuses anymore. And so that resistance that you feel, you just kind of surrender to it. And then all of a sudden, everything just started locking in and working.
Wow. In your bio, you were saying that you specialize in shadow work. What is that?
Yeah, for me, shadow work is a very important component. I feel like with all of this spiritual movement in our world, everyone is seeking peace and wholeness and love and connection. But part of what that is about is also about embracing the pieces and parts of us that we want to deny. So our shadow selves are the pieces and parts that we want to ignore, that we're ashamed of, or we're embarrassed of, or we're just too traumatized to really look at them again. And so in order to have wholeness, I feel like we need to go into those dark parts and get the nutrition out of it, because that's going to be where the healing and the awareness of self is going to be. And we can't deny them. We can't just look at what's positive and what's love and what's beautiful. We need to go into those dark parts and kind of sift through the garbage and take away whatever is going to be of value as we go forward. And that's a hard thing to do on your own sometimes. It's a little scary, and so I like being that person for them so that we can walk through it together.
Now, I've got about a minute before I have to take my first break. When did you know something was different? When did you know that you were experiencing something very unique?
Well, I think it all started when I was around 7 or 8 years old, when I felt things and I couldn't see them, so I knew something was going on. I come from a family of psychics, but we were all very afraid of it, and so we shut it down. We were, we're raised superstitious and fearful, and we didn't know what to do with it, and so everybody just kind of one by one started shutting it down, and then it wasn't until I was about 27 where it started to kind of come back online, if you will, and that's the portion of the game where I just couldn't ignore it anymore. It was pretty prevalent.
Do you think that you turned it back on, or it turned itself back on?
I'm sure on some level I did, but I'm telling you, at that point, I was kicking and screaming. I didn't want it. I didn't want to talk to my guides. I didn't want anything to do with it. And I felt like it came on to me, almost in a way of, you're going to do this, and you don't really have a choice.
Gotcha.
So,
all right, Morrigan, right? Please stand by. We've got to take our first break, and we'll be back on the other side of this break. X-Zone, our guest is Morrigan Lynn, and her website is embracewithin.com. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. Morrigan and I will be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hello, I'm Pete Marsh. With my daughter Justina, we will be presenting the new radio show, Too Good to Be True. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But with the help of Justina's amazing gifts, we're going to gain insight into questions that don't yet have complete answers. Have you wondered who built Stonehenge and for what reason? Why are crop circles found in the same region as Stonehenge and elsewhere? Are crop circles a hoax, or are they created with technologies that we have little knowledge of? Who built the pyramids in Egypt and also in other countries? How and why were they built? Was the Titanic switched with the Britannic as part of a gigantic insurance fraud, or for more insidious reasons? What caused the Tunguska event when trees were flattened over an 800 square mile area in Siberia? Will the new insights be too good to be true? Well, that will depend on what you are prepared to believe. Please join us as we start on this journey together. For more information on Too Good to Be True, visit www.xzbn.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Exonation, Morrigan Lynn is our special guest. Her website is embracewithin.com. So when was the moment that you realized there was no turning back, that it was time to embrace this journey?
Probably around 27, 28. My son had just been born. And back home, I had heard that a friend of mine had passed away. And then hearing how his mother was on suicide watch because of the death. And here I am holding my, I don't know, I guess he was 2 or 3 months old at the time, and just terrified because now I'm a new mother and I just realized, oh my gosh, there are things I'm going to have to deal with that I didn't think about. So all this fear was going through me, and I was crying and nursing my son. And I heard a woman's voice in my right ear that said, "You're not going to have to worry about that. Your son will be safe." And it was in that moment, and it was audible, and it was clear and distinct. And all of a sudden, I knew right there that it was real, that it's time for me to start giving them some credit, giving these guides that I had no idea about, giving them a little bit of my time, because I felt like I owed it to them at that point. They had been taking care of us, and that was kind of the turning point for me.
You know, were your friends and family supportive of this new direction, or were you kind of ridiculed?
A little bit of both, I think. In the beginning, it was kind of this cool thing to do. Like, I kind of did it at parties, and you know, it was kind of a party trick in a way. And it got all fun and flippant, but then when I started turning it into more of a business and got a little bit more serious with it, I think some people had a hard time with it, and I don't know why. There's lots of reasons why I think people shy away from things like this, but I actually ended up getting a divorce because my husband at the time had pretty much made me choose between him and it, which is, you know, kind of a crappy thing to do.
It is. It certainly is.
But yeah, it wasn't my best day. But you know what? It's very interesting with when one finds their path. The path never fails them.
Yeah, but let me stop you here for a sec. Let me stop you here for a sec. As a psychic, couldn't you see that coming? No, seriously.
Probably on some level, but I was really holding on to this idealized version of what I thought family was, and I was really, I had just had a new baby, and here we are, and we just got a house, and so I was really resisting and holding on to that, but I knew it was over. I'm human. I make those judgment calls too.
So how did you rectify this dilemma you were in?
Well, I left and lovingly released friends and family that had a problem with it, because when it really boils down to it, I want people in my life that are going to be for me, not what I do, not a conditional, as long as I do what they're comfortable with, then they'll stay in my life.
Yeah.
And so just through the years, I've gotten really clear that not everybody's going to get it, and I don't need everybody to get it. I get it, and that's where my conviction lies. And it's okay if they don't get it, but we also don't need to do this push-pull thing anymore. And so I just let them go.
Tell us about your guides. What is your relationship with them?
Well, they, first of all, think they're game show hosts. I swear, the first 7 years, when we began, when I finally said, okay, fine, I will give you my time, I will see what this is about. For about the first 7 years of it, they would wake me up in the morning and they'd go, today we're going to play a game. And then they would give me the game we're going to play that day, whether it was witness judgment or, where are you convicted and where are you living? So they would give me these tasks to play. They're brutally honest, and that's something that I've grown to love. I didn't love that in the beginning because it kind of sucks when they're, hitting you upside the head with the 2x4. But I also know that I needed it. So we've gotten to a place where they're my friends. They're my best friends, and I trust them implicitly.
Wow. Do you generally focus on one particular tool when reading for people? And if you could, walk us through the process.
Yeah, I started this kind of leaning on my guides and asking them, who am I? What do I need to be? So I've never really studied like astrology or tarot or anything like that as teaching. So in the beginning, when someone would come up to me and they'd say, well, do you do this? Can I know about this? My very next response would be, I don't know, let's see. And so then I'd go to my guides and I'd go, what do I need to know about this? How do I need to do this? And they would show me. So my process is unique unto the person. I serve the highest good. So whatever that person comes with, whether it's going to be looking at their past lives or perhaps they have entity attachments or they need a chakra clearing, it really is, I give myself over to what that person needs. So the particular segment or the tool or whatever I use is always going to be different. It's always going to be unique.
What kind of clientele do you get? What are the people seeking? What answers are they looking for?
A lot of them want to, even though they may not say it like this, it's how I hear it. A lot of them want to remember who they are. That makes me emotional just saying that. We have forgotten who we are. And what I mean by that is, we are born into this life, and we have several lives, I believe. And we come in having sort of an idea of who we are, but we're infants and we can't express that. And then we have these early years of they formulate us and they change us.
Who
and
are
then
they?
Life
Who are they?
Life kind of beats you down a little.
Who are they? You said they change us. Who are they?
Do you mean my guides?
I don't know.
Did I say they there?
You said they change us. We come into this life and they change us. And you use the words as if somebody controls us.
Oh, I don't know that I didn't realize I said that. No, I feel like life changes us. Things happen, depending on our surroundings and who we're raised by, that has a big impact on us. And yeah, the first 12 years, we don't have a lot of free will, but then we start growing into our free will. And I feel like when clients are in that space, they're really trying to remember who they were before all the crap happened.
You said we don't have free will, and I remember as a child having all the free will I needed. There were rules and regulations that were set out for my safety. The same rules and regulations I set out for my children, and they set out for their children. But, life is a choice. I will certainly not let anybody make a choice that I know will hurt them. But,
right.
They've got a choice of either going to a movie or going to the library. They've got a choice of either, eating a hamburger or pizza. So how can we say we have no free will?
I'm speaking more on the bigger picture in the sense that we're born into the family we're born into.
Yeah.
We have a economical, socio lifestyle that we are born into.
Right.
We don't have a lot of choice there. If a person is born into an abusive family, they don't have a lot of choice there. I know that we are free will beings. I know that that's ultimately the entire experience on Earth. But there's a lot that can happen to children that they don't really have a lot of say over, and that will evolve them. That will change them.
But there are a lot of people who believe that the decision to come to a certain family is part of a contract you make before you're born. Mm-hmm. So how do we explain that?
Yeah, I do too, actually. I feel like we choose the families that we're born into. I feel like that's all soul contracts. Mm-hmm. That is the higher free will. I believe that we do choose these families and we do choose these environments. However, the moment you enter that physical body, you don't remember those soul contracts. And so now it becomes human free will, ego free will. So it's a different stage setting, and we forget everything, which is kind of it's the promise, it's the deal. We just forget everything so that we can just work our way back to the remembering of it.
Mm-hmm. How has being a psychic and your new life affected you personally? Here you are, a single mom. I don't know if you've been remarried or not, or what your situation is, but how has it affected your ability to go forth?
To be honest, I feel like it really saved me because I get to talk about it every day. Right. I am doing this full time. I am remarried, by the way, to a beautiful man that totally supports it, totally gets it.
Congratulations.
But because I'm able to talk about it every day, and I have classes, and I have coaching, and on, I learn through it as well. Like my guides, whatever I'm getting for that client, I get it for myself as well. And so because it's such a constant conversation for me, I don't even want to think about who I would be if I didn't have this.
Does everybody have this ability?
I think everyone has intuition, and I do believe that everyone has the capability. Not everyone wants to embrace it, and I grew up really afraid of it, and so I shut it down. Mm-hmm. Yes, my guides kind of put it on me to open it back up, but not everybody chooses to open it back up. I think everyone has the capability, but it's like a muscle. If you want to enhance it and strengthen it, then you choose to go into that direction, and you make it stronger for yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Let me see. I've got about a minute and a half before my next commercial break. So why do you think people really cling on to stuff that they find to be uncomfortable?
I think by nature, we like control. We like things we can count on. Mm-hmm. And even though it's uncomfortable, we can count on it. So if we have patterns or we have traumas or abuse in our life, I feel like we lean towards it because it may suck, but we can count on it. And we know who we are in it. And that feeds the ego to have a little bit of control in a situation that is known. To branch out and go out of our comfort zone means to have it be unknown, which means it could be, we fear that it's going to be more dangerous if we go beyond what we know. So I feel like we kind of stay in those patterns just because we crave the control.
Morgan, I'm sorry. Morgana was a guest I had a couple of weeks ago. So Morgan, please stand by, my dear. You and I will be back on the other side of this short break with the news. And Exonation, if you'd like to find out more about Morgan LYNNE, her website is embracewithin.com. She is an angel therapy practitioner and angelic Reiki master and teacher. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We'll both be back on the other side of the news, so don't you dare go away.
are our personal gateways into infinite wisdom. Don't miss shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Corcoran's inspiring book, Shamanic Awakening Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles Sandra's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers and her initiations throughout the Americas and across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. Sandy's knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private tarot readings, international journeys, a meditative CD, as well as her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate this earth walk, creating a deeper connection to yourself and all that is. Find this and more at Sandy's website, starwalkervisions.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
And welcome back, everyone. Morgan Lynn is our special guest. She is an angel therapy practitioner, angelic Reiki master, and teacher. Her website is embracewithin.com. If there was just one thing you could do to help people understand about the work that you do, what would it be?
That it's easy, honestly. I think there's so much buildup over, first of all, there's tons of buzzwords now, and spiritual practices are very big. It's gaining a lot of momentum, and I think people get overwhelmed in it because there's so much to choose from. And I feel like if people were to stop and just center for a moment and then listen to their own voice, to their small, still voice within, this path can be very easy. We don't have to do everything. We don't have to know all the answers. We already have everything we need within. It's just now about remembering. So a lot of my work is just walking people through that, just so that they can, it sounds so simplified, but it's really so that they can remember.
Remember from where?
Remember from their origin, before all of this stuff happens. Whatever stuff that is, whatever has happened in their life, and whatever has pulled them away from their center, because everyone has their own baggage. They have their own past, their own stuff, and that stuff tends to pull them away from who they are, from the thing that they are. And so it's about working our way back.
I hope you don't take this next question the wrong way. No, nothing negative implied, but why would a person go to see you instead of a trained psychotherapist or psychologist?
It's funny. I actually have a lot of clients they tell me I'm better than their therapist.
Is it because you tell them what they want to hear?
No, I don't tell people what they want to hear.
Okay.
That is what the shadow work is about. I actually offend people quite often and really push their buttons, because part of the work in the shadow work is about calling them out on their bullshit. If they're trying to avoid
I'd like to remind you that this is a family show, so I would appreciate if you watched your language.
Absolutely. Yeah, so part of it is really about reminding them and walking them back, because we avoid, we deflect, we want to we want to stay in that comfort zone. We don't want to see the icky parts. And so part of my job in the shadow work is to hold them accountable. So I actually don't tell people what they want to hear. And I think because I have the psychic capacity with that, I think that's what's different than therapy. I've done therapy. I'm a huge advocate of therapy. And if someone needs to go to therapy, I recommend that for them. So I don't think one thing ever is going to work for a person. I think that we can pull nutrition from lots of different areas.
But once again, you're not a trained professional, so how can you counsel people?
Well, I listen, and I see them, and I witness them. Not who they want me to think they are, but who they really are. And they may have forgotten, or maybe they're really they're really nervous about being face to face with that. And so I just mirror that back to them.
All right, but don't you think there might be a danger that playing with somebody's mind can be dangerous? You know,
I don't. Go ahead.
You know, I find this rather strange, where people will go to, once again, like I said, no offense meant.
Yeah.
But people go to a stranger who does not have any certificates, is not licensed or governed by any governing body, instead of going to a trained professional. I just find that strange.
Right. Yeah, I'm not playing with their minds. That isn't a statement I would say is accurate for me.
Okay.
Because there's no games. I'm not messing with their mental capacity or their ability to take in information on a mental level. It's walking with them where they need to go. And I know that it sounds so woo-woo when I talk about it like that. But when a person is witnessed, maybe for the first time in their entire life, and what I mean by that is really seen. Not seen for what they can give you, or not seen for what they can produce, or not seen for their role in this world, but really see them. And you hold space right there, and you're as authentic as you can be. People shift when they are held in that space. It's not a game. It's not a mental, I'm not playing with their mind. It's just real. And when you hold that space for people, their shields drop. All of the garbage that they've piled on top of them starts falling away. And then what's underneath that is their authentic self.
They can't get the same counsel from friends, relatives, a member of the clergy?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not saying I'm the one that has the answer. I'm saying I know what I know, and I'm good at what I know, and I'm okay if I don't know everything. I actually suggest people to have multiple areas in their life where they seek counsel. This isn't a one-stop shop thing. I don't have all the answers.
Right. What are the demographics of people who come to see you? Are they mostly men, mostly women? Is there a certain age bracket, or is it right across the board?
It's the majority is women. Honestly, that's the space I hold anyway, because I think that women get to have that safe space. But I actually do see my fair share of men. I feel like men are starting to get permission to touch their emotional body, their empath self. You know, men have been hardwired to have this, you know, the emotions are weakness and you can't feel and don't be a girl and don't be a sissy, yada, yada. But I think men are finally coming around to where it's okay for them to express their emotions. And again, I have that safe space for people, so I hold that for them.
I think that's one of the biggest fallacies going, where men, you know, are told they're supposed to be strong, this and that. I was never taught that.
Yeah.
My children have never been taught that. You know, it's all right to cry. It's all right to show love. It's all right to show affection. It's all right to hold your wife's hand as you're walking down the street. You know, this is what life is about, love.
Exactly.
So when I hear this part about men being programmed, I don't understand it. And I can't understand anybody letting that happen to themselves.
Yeah, I'm with you too. We are choking them, because when you deny any part of you and make it wrong, now you are out of balance. And so part of the work for men is giving them permission to just feel, like really just feel whatever you feel. And even that can be transformational.
Yeah. Would you say that the majority of women who come to you have been abused one way or another?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think that's part of the crap that we have to work through. In some way, shape, or form, we've all been told that we're not good enough on some level, whatever it is. Even mass marketing, you know, even magazines and such we are inundated with messages that we're just not good enough, and so we got to work out of that.
Safety is in numbers.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Why not get the momentum going that we're awesome just the way we are? And
there's nothing wrong.
Here's my magic, and it's different than your magic, and yay, let's party together. It's all good.
See, I find this very disturbing that there are people in this world that treat other people like that. I really find that disturbing.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
So how do light workers and others in the spiritual community respond to the kind of work you're doing? Are they accepting? Are they supportive?
I get kind of mixed reviews. I have some really close friends that are, you know, there's this, you know, light worker is one of those buzzwords that's going on right now. And so being a shadow worker, you know, by nature, I'm opposite. So at first I think there's a lot of curiosity, but then honestly, because of the depths that I go, I think it makes them nervous. I think that people tend to lean towards light work because they want to stay in that fluffy bunny energy where everything's love and light, and they're not comfortable going into the shadow part of it. So I think by that virtue, I'm going to be a little bit of the odd man out.
Why? Why would you consider yourself being the one who's going to be the odd man out?
I don't consider that. I'm experiencing that. It's a big difference.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh no, it's okay.
So, what is your overall vision with this direction of work?
So many answers at one time. My overall vision is really just to be a powerful representation of what it looks like, to really dive into the depths. You are going to survive. It's not going to kill you. You can be stronger coming out. It's really safe to embrace all that we are. We are limitless beings. And if we're only accepting half of the equation, and yet at the same time calling it wholeness, well, that math doesn't add up for me. And so I really want to be the space to show people that shadow work is good for us. It's nutritional. It's transformational. And then on that level, just being able to model for people how it's done, that you can go in and dive deep and come out, nourished. It's not going to kill you, people.
It's not going to kill you, people, but it does cure you, apparently.
It gives us more of a sense of wholeness, because I know my shadow. I know where it creeps up. I know how it sabotages. I know where my prostitute archetype gets in my face. I know where I sabotage my worth and my value. And so because I've gone into the shadow, I know that side of me. Now I have the awareness around it, and I don't let myself go habitually into those places mindlessly.
Would you say that our lessons in life are geared to make us stronger?
I have an aversion to the word lessons, because for me that feels very judgy. I do feel like we're here to experience contrast. I feel like big picture, that's what human life is about, is experiencing contrast. Mm-hmm. I know this because I've had that, and that gives me a greater sense of self, and I think that's the big mystery of what this life is about. And so to know light, I also know shadow because I know light, and vice versa. So I don't know that we come here for quote unquote lessons. That feels very pass or fail to me, and that puts me under a lot of pressure to get it right before I die.
Well, no. You see, I believe that in life, if you what some people call failure, I've always looked at as a lesson to success.
Right.
Once again, it's perception.
I just have a little. Yeah, exactly. I just have a little aversion to the word lesson.
Well, I've got an aversion to the word commercial break, but I have to take one, so please stand by. Exonation, our guest this hour is Morrigan LYNNE, and her website is Embrace Within, and we'll be back on the other side of this final break here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Are you curious? Do you want to learn more about how the world works and have fun at the same time? Study coincidences with me, Dr. Bernie Beitman, MD, on my Connecting with Coincidence radio show here on the XZBN network. Listen to Jungians theorize, statisticians randomize, true believers evangelize, while I categorize. I dance to the rhythm of coincidences. People who experience me see more of them. Maybe something on the show matches a thought in your mind. Let us know. Expand your mind to the weirdness happening around you. Synchronicity spoken here, there, and everywhere. For more information, put Connecting with Coincidence in your search engine and find my website, my social media sites, and my blog.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0000 courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today. www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome back, everyone. Her website is Embrace Within. Her name is Morrigan LYNNE, and she is an angel therapy practitioner and angelic Reiki master / teacher. Listen now, what is angelic therapy?
Angelic therapy is a certification course coined by Doreen Virtue, and it is working specifically with the angelic realm to help clear attachments, clear debris, to align the body systems. Mm-hmm. It's a specific teaching and certification course.
And what do you do as an angelic practitioner? Angel therapy practitioner.
Yeah. A lot of it is going into the my client, let's just say my client, connecting with their guides, and then their guides guide me in what that person needs. So if they have cords that need cutting, let's say they have attachments to unhealthy relationships, then we cut the cords. There's a lot of different chakra kind of balancing work we could do. If they have past life work, then their guides will guide me into that. It's really leaning on the guardian angels of that person.
So you believe in angels?
I do.
Have you seen angels?
Very much so.
I'm sorry?
I said very much so, and I'm laughing because if I said no, my guides would pop me upside the head.
Well, what's the difference between a guide and an angel?
For me, they're synonymous, but really, technically, people have guardian angels and they have spirit guides, and each grouping has a different contract with that person. Guardian angels tend to be more over life review kind of thing, where they help them on the big picture of their life. They guide them in different directions based on their contracts. And spirit guides, in my experience, have been more of specialists. They're teaching that person something specific, like a skill or an ability or psychic awareness or something, whatever that contract dictates for that person. But I really do just kind of lop them in together and say my guides.
Okay. How has your work as a empath, clairvoyant, and clairaudient practitioner, as well as the work you do in Reiki, how has it affected your personal belief structure?
Well, I'm very quilt work, patchwork kind of belief system person anyway. I'm very eclectic all across the board. I pull from different religions, different belief systems. I like that. My work is supporting me in that because I don't feel like there's an answer for everything. I don't think that there's one path for all people. And I more or less was born eclectic. I believe in all. And I pick and choose the things that are going to fit for me. It's why I don't really expect anybody to agree or get it. Like, it's really for me. And so my work it evolves around that. It really it comes from that place.
So the people that come and seek your counsel, how does what you do affect their belief structure?
Well, all I ask people is to be open-minded on their path. I don't need them to get mine, and I am certainly not in the business in converting people. Like, this is not a belief system. I don't work in belief systems. We're supporting the person in the path that they chose before they were born. I have no say over that, and I have no judgment about that. So it doesn't matter what the religion of the person or the philosophy of the person. I support them where they are.
Tell me more about this pre-life contract. Tell me about it. What do you know about it? Yeah.
I feel like the soul is eternal. I feel like because the soul wants to understand self, that's where we get into the human experience of contrast. I feel like in all of that magnificent vastness, we create contracts with each other. I do feel like we will repeat patterns with each other, not because it's a punishment or a karmic debt or anything necessarily. I feel like on a soul level, we want to try again. Like, wow, that didn't go so great. I would really like to try that again. Would you help me with that? And then that person, because the soul is free will, can decide whether or not they want to incarnate with them to help them through that again. And so on a big picture, everything is created to help each soul understand self better. And you might call that lessons. I call it the experiences of expansion. But then we're born and we come into this human life, and the cosmic joke is we forget everything we agreed upon, and then we try to do our best. And so I feel like that's where we're pulled to certain people, or we feel like I know they're toxic, but I can't seem to leave them. Like there's this pull. And it's because the contract is in play, and it's asking for a new choice, a new tactic.
What are some of the problems you've helped people with over the years?
Oh, gosh. Paranormal work is a big one. People that have a lot of activity in their homes, or they have negative spirits or negative entities attacking their family. The basics, really, like grounding and centering and chakra work and helping them meditate, things like that. I've done past life work with people. I've done the level of my empath abilities is when I connect to somebody and I am about to read them, my body will react the way their body is functioning. So if they have a migraine, I get a migraine. If they are nervous, I'm nervous. Like my body will immediately react to theirs. So that helps me walk them through the awareness that it's happening, because you would not believe how used to these ailments and issues people are. They don't realize they've had them because they walk around with them every day. And so when I'm able to mirror back to them, hey, do you know that your diaphragm is up in your upper lungs and you're short breathing? Because I can't breathe right now. And it helps them realize these things that they're doing to themselves, and hopefully correct them.
So you also do medical intuitive work?
Kind of, but again, I never claim to have that because I'm not certified in that, if there is even a certification.
Yeah. So tell me about the paranormal work that you do. You said that you help people do clearings and so on and so forth. What was your introduction into the world of the paranormal?
Probably because when I was 7, I would feel spirits around me, and of course at the time I didn't know. But then probably about 15 years ago, that's when it all kind of sparked for me. I got really interested in it, and my friends and I would go into haunted places and cemeteries, you know, the usual gambit, just to go play. But then it started to become a service. And I love mediumship work. Like, I love connecting people with their past loved ones. It's very rewarding and beautiful. But really my passion is helping souls that have been dead for a really long time, help them cross over. Because there's something very interesting, and this is completely my own theory. The longer a person has been dead and they haven't crossed over, they start getting a bit of an amnesia. Like, they start forgetting that they've died. And I feel like when you hear of the common hauntings, like the nurse in the hospital or the chambermaid in the hotel, etc., I feel like those beings are doing what's natural because it feels comfortable to them. It's familiar, and so it's comforting them. But they have been dead so long that they have forgotten they've died. And so part of what I do is I lovingly and gently walk them through remembering that they've died so that they can cross over.
And where did they cross over to?
Oh, everyone has their own theory. For me, it's just source. I call it source. I call it home. I'm sure some people would call it heaven. It's that energy of home.
How about ghosts? Have you ever seen ghosts?
You know, I actually don't see with my physical eyes. Very rarely will I see an outline or a hazy spot. My clairvoyance is more internal. I see inside my mind. But yeah, I've seen them a few times like that. It scares me.
Interesting. So what are your final thoughts for the X Zone Nation? We've got about a minute and a half left. What would you like to tell them about the work that you do?
I just want people to get the strong stand that I am for the evolution of us, to the remembering of us. There is nothing more rewarding than being in the space when someone remembers. When you see it click and you feel it all click and it snaps in place, when they just remember the beauty that they are, the strength that they are. And there's just something it's such an honor to be the witness for that.
Well, Morgan, we have to say so long for tonight. I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been a delight talking to you. And X Zone Nation, if you would like to contact Morgan for any information, or if you'd like to contact her for a one-on-one consultation, her website is www.embracewithin.com. That's www.embracewithin.com. I'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the X Zone Broadcast Network, the Mutual Broadcast Network. Let me see, in Europe, or across Europe, Euro Radio TV, and of course, X Zone Broadcast Network at xzbn.net and iHeartRadio. Don't go away.